All right, as you can see, I did the even or the odds of the other math class. So with you guys, we're just going to do the evens today, and then tonight you can either look at the posted solutions or you can kind of go back and listen to the video of the other class to see if you want to check your answers that way. All right, the first problems are pretty easy. We already talked about the whether it was a monomial, binomial, trinomial. All right, so this is kind of just a review. All right, so in this case, number one is called a what? Trinomial, right? Is everybody good with number one being a trinomial? What?
What is the difference between tri and binomial?
Binomial is 2.
Okay.
Trinomial is 3. So if we're just looking at this right here, this is a what? Trinomial. This one is also a what? This is a monomial. Right? There's 3 terms, right? Right? What separates terms? Addition and subtraction. Right? Now let's look at number 4. Number 4, because there is a variable in the denominator, is not classified as a polynomial. Right? It is not a monomial. All right? It is not a monomial because the denominator has a variable. All right? That P excludes it from the definition of a polynomial or a monomial. All right? Number 5 is called a what? Binomial. What is number 4? None of them. That's what we just said. It's not classified as a polynomial. All right, one more time. Number 1 is a what? Trinomial. Number 2 is a? Number 3? Number 4? 5? And 6 now, be careful. All right, so one more time, let's highlight something that's rather important here. The negative 4. The exponent cannot be negative. The exponent cannot be negative, therefore it is not classified. Or it is not classified as a polynomial. All right, is everybody good? All right, now, again, I already wrote the review. I didn't write the degree, but I'm going to try to show you something that periodically will come up. All right, the other part here is the degree. All right, now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to tell you, or someone guess what the degree here is. Number 3 is 2. All right, because the exponent is what? 2. All right, and it's the largest exponent. It's the largest exponent. Is everybody good with that? So now if I ask you a question like for number 2, what's the degree of that? 2. Right, it's the largest exponent. All right, now here's where it gets tricky. If I was asking you about 5, you would say the degree is 5. Why is it 5? Because you're looking at the individual monomials. All right? There's a 2 and a 3 there. So altogether that would be a what? 5. All right, like I said, that's just for your own little bit of information. All right, I'm not putting that on the quiz or whatever on Friday. All right? So if you understand that, bless you. Somebody tell me what the degree here is of number 1. Tell me.
5.
3.
What do you think? 3. Now let me explain. Let's go through it one more time because 5 is not a bad answer. If I said, what's the degree of this guy, what would that be?
1.
No.
Oh,
2, right? What's the degree of this guy?
2.
What's the degree of this guy?
3.
So you take the largest. Everybody happy with that explanation? All right. Now, This one doesn't classify, so we don't have to worry about it, and 6 doesn't classify, so we don't have to worry about the degree. All right, so those are kind of the polynomials and how you break them down into monomial, binomial, trinomial, or polynomial, and then the degree. All right, like I said, though, that's just for your own information. All right. Now, writing in standard form. Standard form just means writing the largest exponent. Start with the largest exponent and then go to the what? Smallest. And the very last thing that goes in is the constant. Remember, the constant is just the number without a variable. All right? So if I was going to write number 8 in standard form, what's the largest exponent? So if I write that in standard form, it's just going to be negative 4d to the 4th. Then what?
Minus d to the second.
Minus d to the second. And then finally, plus 1. That's all there is to it. 1 is considered a constant. It doesn't change. The variables can change. All right? So number 10, if we write that in standard form, we would say what? 4a cubed. What? Come on.
Minus 5a squared. Plus 2a.
Yeah, guys, don't you agree? That's just simple, right? Anybody have any issues? All right. Now, number 12. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add or subtract. All right? Now, what I want you to realize is there is a 1 here. So really what I want you to do is there really a need for the parentheses on the first polynomial? No. So I'm going to just rewrite that as g cubed minus 2g squared plus 5g plus 6. And then I'm going to distribute the negative 1. That would be negative g squared. And then the next one would be what? Minus 2g. Everybody okay with that? All right. Now it's just a matter of combining like terms. Right? We always want to write in standard form, which means largest exponent is smallest. So g cubed is first, right? Were there any other g cubes?
No.
No. So we write g cubed. Next. Negative 2g squared and which makes right negative 3g squared. And then of course 5g minus 2g is, and then finally, come on guys, you guys agree with me? Not easy. That's all there is to it. Adding and subtracting. Combining like terms. That's all we're doing. What?
So numbers will always go there.
Constants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you not, when you're combining negative 2g squared and negative g squared, why wouldn't it be negative 3g?
If I had 2 iPads plus 3 iPads, I would have altogether how many? 5 iPads. I wouldn't have 5 iPads squared.
Those are squared.
You cannot combine these. They're different.
No, I know, but see the ones where it's negative 2g squared and then there's negative g squared. I'm saying why would the final, if you add this together, why would it be negative 2g?
What are you adding?
The negative
Shh.
2g squared and negative g squared.
I'm adding g squareds. If I add g squareds, I'm going to end up with what? And I always try to tell kids, think of it like this. If I have 3 pencils and 5 pencils, I have what? 8 pencils. I don't have 8 pencils squared. You're adding things. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So I always try to tell kids, listen to me, this is important. That's a good question. The number in front tells you how many of these you actually have. You agree with me? So that's negative 2g squared minus 1g squared means I have negative 3g squared. You agree with what I'm saying? Right? All right, the only way you can add or subtract things is if those things are exactly the same. What?
How come the G cubed is different? Like, why would you?
Because g cubed is to the 3rd power. All right, let me just show you this because I do think this is kind of important because a couple people ask me, look up, look up, look up. Everybody look up. All right, I'm going to show you something. If I said 2, let me just make this better. If I said 2 cubed plus 2 squared, what is that?
Same thing.
Can anybody tell me what 2 cubed plus 2 squared is? Well, you can't, but I can tell you what the answer is. The answer is 12. You see what I'm saying? Because I know 2 cubed is what? Because I know 2 cubed is 8, and I know 2 squared is 8 plus 4 is what? 12. Okay, so now please listen. All right, so whatever you thought that would be, some people might say that's 2 to the 5th. Does 2 to the 5th equal 12? No. Right? Can I add 2 cubed and 2 squared together? No, I cannot. Are you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Right? So if you're ever unsure, this is how I learned math. If I wasn't sure what to do because I forgot the property, I just made up numbers. Right? I was smart enough to say 2 cubed plus 2 squared. I know that's 12. That's not going to be 2 to the 5th. I don't even know what I would do. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Like I'm not even sure what are my other options there. Is it 4 to the 5th? Definitely not 4 to the 5th. Right? So I cannot add these. I cannot add these because the exponents are not the same. Right? So if I said what is x squared plus x, that's the answer. You agree with me? If I said what's x squared plus x squared, everybody would say that's what?
2x2.
2x squared. That's right. Because I have 1x squared, and I'm adding what? Another x squared. 1x squared plus 1x squared is 2x squared. It has nothing to do with changing the exponent. When you're adding, you cannot combine terms unless the monomials are exactly the same. All right, hopefully that helped. All right, so now let's take a look at 14. All right, now again, I kind of want to put it in standard form, right? I want to put the largest exponent first. So, what 2 things can I combine here? Negative what? Which makes, and then
11.
plus 11y. I'm just not sure why people make this that difficult. Does anybody agree with me? I'm hoping you're saying, oh, that's just so simple. You're combining like terms is all you're doing. And occasionally you're going to see a negative sign, and you have to do what? Distribute the negative. That is it. That's how simple. All right, so let's look at 16. All right, go. Just tell me the answer, because I know you're smart.
Negative 2d squared
Good,
minus 20
good.
plus 60.
Now, see how I wrote it like that, right? I would just try to write it in standard form as I'm doing. You with me on that? All right? Yes.
I didn't see it. So.
You good now?
Yeah.
Right. Of course. All right. Everybody good? All right, let's check out 18. Uh-oh, with 18 I have to do what?
I'll distribute the negative.
Distribute the negative. Now, for you guys, because we're brilliant, here's what I can do. Change that to a what? Now, normally when I change a sign, I circle it. So I can remind myself I did the actual work. Then the negative 8n squared becomes a what? And I do what? Circle. And then the plus becomes a... So then I put a minus sign. Because the number one thing kids forget to do is they forget to distribute the negative. Distribute the negative just means what to the signs? Just change the sign. That's all it means. All right. So now we're going to try to write in descending order. So what happens to the n cubed?
16.
What happens?
So for the n. Oh, the n. Alright. They cancel.
They do cancel. Thank you. That's important. 3n cubed, negative 3n cubed, they cancel. What?
Why didn't the one on the left side change signs?
Because there isn't a negative over there. True? If I put a negative here, what would I do? Change the signs. Right? All right, so now continue on. What comes next?
It'd be 9n squared,
Very good.
and then it'd just be minus 5.
That's how simple. 9n squared minus 5n. Everybody feeling good about that? It's easy. I told you. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm just going to, you can write down 20 through 25 real quick. Just write down 20 through 25. We'll do all these because these are so easy. Is 20, is that considered a polynomial? No. It's not because there is a what?
Variable in the denominator.
Yeah, variable in the denominator. So 20 is nothing. All right, what about 21? That's called a monomial. Now, believe it or not, the monomial, the degree here is going to be 0. Because there isn't a variable. So the degree is 0. Again, it doesn't really matter. All right? 22, that's considered a what? Trinomial. And the degree is 4. 23, is that considered a binomial? Wrong.
No, because there's a to the power of a variable.
Power to a variable. That's 100% correct. Very good job. So here we go. The exponent cannot be a variable, so that's not considered a binomial or a polynomial. All right, let's look at 24. 24 is called a, and what's the degree? 2. Good. 25. Binomial. Now be careful. Degree.
3.
Who said 4? 4. You're brilliant. You're listening. All right, because you remember you add the exponents. You look at the individual monomials. That is a 4. That is a what? 3. So we take the largest one. Again, that's just your own information. I'm not putting that on the quiz. All right. All right, let's carry on now. All right. Writing in standard form, let's do 26. I did that for you already. And you can write the answer, but tell me if that makes sense. Am I good with that?
Yeah.
All right. So now, Watson, why don't you write 28 for me? What would that be in standard form? You're brilliant. Easy, easy. Yes, sir.
So if you have like both to the same power, is there like a certain
You
order?
combine them. True?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah. I
All
know.
right. Yeah.
Okay, so would it be t to the fifth plus 2t to the second plus 11t minus 3?
Told you, simple. Mia, what about 32?
Negative 3x to the 4, plus half of x, 1/2 x, and then plus that.
Look how simple. Is it okay with 32? Is everybody agreeing? It's easy. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, now again, a lot of this right here is just mental math. I'm happy with this. So everybody take a look at 34. William, what are you thinking about 34?
7c squared plus 6c minus 3.
Easy. Thank you. Am I good? Jude, why don't you help me out with 36? So what do I do with the negative? Right. So the c squared becomes a what? Negative. 2c becomes an 8. Exactly. All right. Now be careful. Now what I want you to do is be careful. First and foremost, the only thing we can put with, you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead. And again, I'm just trying to say that's the common mistake, is trying to put things together quickly. All right, the only thing c cubed can go with is what? C cubed. All right, so now what?
Minus c squared
Perfect.
plus c.
Yes, that's good. And then what? Careful. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You just have to be careful with the signs, okay? You just got to be careful. All right, yes, sir. If you're multiplying, that is correct. But we're not. We're adding. Okay, 38. Mr. Stauffer, you ready?
Well, if you put it in XYZ order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to distribute the negative, so it's negative 3y and negative 4x.
Good job.
And then you want to start with
Alphabetically.
negative 2x.
Good. Uh-oh.
Negative 2x minus 5y. That's all.
Guys, I just think that's easy. Right? Anybody have any issues? All right, Hannah, what about 40? Why don't you give that a shot? Why? That's right. How much is that? How many? 1, right? And what's this? So that would be? Right. Okay. Good. Perfect. That's exactly correct.
How would we take away like just with the separate? Oh wait, never mind. Sorry.
You sure?
Wait, actually, why would the x to the second when go to the 3x?
Because there's a y. Because there's a y. There's no y with this one.
So they're all okay. Sorry.
In order to add them, they have to be exactly the same. You good now? Right. The only thing I can add to x squared y would be x squared y. Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Morty, what?
Nothing.
42.
Negative distribute negative.
So it becomes a
Negative 4p squared.
good.
Negative 4n.
All right, kiddo, let's go.
And then it would be negative 1 just n. And then
I'm okay with you writing in. Because it's what? 5n minus 4n.
yeah.
Okay, now what?
Negative 6p squared.
Right?
And then plus 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't worry about trying to put that in standard order. Just combine the terms. You with me on that? Just combine the terms. What?
Is it okay if we put the 2 first?
I just said it doesn't make any difference how you write. You with me? There's no reason to try to use standard form. They give you a bunch of different letters and a bunch of different excellence. You with me? All right. What?
Did we go to 54 now?
Well, I'm going to show you. Here we go. So everybody write on your paper 45 through 50. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. We'll just do those real quick. .45 is called a what? With the degree of? Any issues with that? 46 is a monomial with a degree of 3. 47 is a with a degree of 4, right? 48 binomial degree is 3. 49 polynomial with a degree of 5. And 50 trinomial with a degree of 3. Well, why don't you tell me? It's a polynomial. Generally, when it's more than 3, you just say polynomial.
Many.
All right, many terms. Exactly. All right, 54. Everybody take a look at 54. Zayden, you want to be brave and read me the answer here? Now remember, we're going to try to do it in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Okay? Shh.
9x four y
Mm-hmm.
Minus 17.
Everybody agree? That's kind of easy, right? Just combining terms. That's all we're doing. Combining terms. All right, here we go. Let's check out 56. All right, so first step in 56. Drew.
So on the last one, we would change it so it would be negative C2
Right.
plus 5 and then plus 8.
Okay.
And so we start with 3C to the second, sorry, 4, 2C to the second.
Good.
And then negative 1C plus 8.
Everybody agree? Simple, simple, simple. All right, the end, guys. I told you. Go back and do the odds. Double check your answers. All right. Please take your time. Brilliant. Wow. Nothing gets by Maury. I'm sure of that. Head your paper like it was up there.
Oh, I just,